All right. And we're back with another candidate. State your name for the record.
I am Michael Potter.
And what office are you running for there, Michael?
I am running for Indiana House District 47.
47. Where's that located at?
That is the southern half-ish of Johnson County, which Johnson County is the next county south of Marion County, Indianapolis. And so southern half of Johnson County and the western half-ish of Shelby County. And the district, the way they've compiled those areas, it happens to look like a rubber ducky.
So yeah, Michael, we've seen you all over the place at parades, on social media and whatnot. Duck suit, you got a duck logo.
Yeah.
To lean into it, it sort of really highlights the absurdity of gerrymandering, I think.
It highlights a lot, and I love maps. I'm a geologist, and I was a mapping geologist through school. So I love maps. I probably could have had, if I just declared it, a minor in geography. So I really love that the center of my logo is the district, and for me that's important because that's the number one thing on my mind is the constituents of that district. I have things that I like to talk about, but I quickly learned that that's not what the people of House District 47, they don't align with all those, and so I've listened and I've changed my opinion on some things for the district, and that's what we're supposed to do.
Very good. So, well, what was your motivation? What inspired you to run for office and state house in particular?
Yeah, the biggest thing, there are a lot of bits and pieces that add up to it, but I think the big straw was the LEAP district and the early talks of that, and that the IEDC committed Indiana to these corporate interests a lot of water.
Yeah.
And knowing that particular area and the area I live, or they have kind of similar situations, there's not that volume of water at that location. So it was like, okay, how are you going to solve this one? This will be interesting. And then to hear them talk on interviews as this was coming along, it was very clear that the folks in the State House had no idea what they were talking about. And not that we all have, if you get in the State House, you have to be an expert on everything, but I think you should maybe put the brakes on instead of just spouting lies. Be like, I rely on my experts for that, and leave it at that instead of pontificating about things they don't know about and making it so obvious that somebody's motivated to run for office. Like, I really wasn't, seeking a political appointment at any time. I never saw this in the cards, and so I saw that the general kind of displeasure. Maybe there was a mandate when Trump won. I don't know what that voting situation was, but there seems to be a general displeasure with the way our government's working for the people right now. I'm sure corporations and billionaires love it. It seems to be working decently well for them, but it does not seem to be working well for the average Hoosier of House District 47.
That move fast and break things mentality, might work up well in like startup culture, right?
Yeah.
in business, but when things like the LEAP district, where they planned this major development, acres and acres, thousands of acres, right?
Yeah.
And all the data centers and whatnot that go into that, and all the water that it will require, and it's in the middle of a field where, like you said, there's no water. That's one of the things that government is supposed to do, is think about these things.
Yeah, it's kind of our, right? It's as much infrastructure as a road is infrastructure, or our wastewater treatment is infrastructure. We didn't build the aquifers, but if we don't treat them with care, we will ruin them. And we're showing that we're pretty good at that so far.
Yes, certainly. The moving faster and the breaking things involves breaking things, and certain things you can't put back together.
You can't put them back together. No.
So one of the things I like to do is we take our politicians, we put them on pedestals, we build cults of personality around them, and I think we have to remind ourselves that our leaders are just regular people with regular struggles like the rest of us. So, what is something that has been a struggle in your life?
Oh boy, how much time do we have? I have 3 daughters. 2 are in college now, and 1 is getting ready to start. Or she's halfway through preschool, ready to start kindergarten next year. So, just that spectrum of children is a challenge, and being able to meet their needs, and going through the whole K through 12 of public education, and not the educator part. When my older 2 went through, I swore, like, oh, they're poor teachers. I'm going to roast them. Like, and they, especially on earth science, right? They never teach that right. Their teachers were awesome. I would go to back to school night or meet the teacher night, and my jaw would be on the ground. They have it so together, and they're integrating the English class with the chemistry class, with the math class, and writing stories and doing things that it's just amazing. They do such a good job, our public educators. But it's the parent politics of the PTA and the volleyball club and the basketball team and this, like, oh, I don't know if I look forward to that again.
So, just the parenting process, I think, is a struggle for all of us because all of our kids are unique and they require rearing in their own individual ways. And
I don't know, like, it's not a struggle in that it's like an awful thing. It's just a struggle in that it's an everyday, like, that's where your focus is. Of course, then you're trying to work a job, we're trying to be politicians, and we're trying to do have our own hobbies and all that kind of stuff. So just everyday, normal, just like everyone else, like, struggle, pay the bills. I've been kind of bouncing around, as we've got to know each other, between a few jobs, to make sure that my job is compatible with running for office. And where I started out, when I started running for office, I worked for an international billion-dollar company, and they were great, as great as they could be with a politician, but it weighed heavy on me that something I could say on your podcast, because AES is strangling the residents of Indianapolis. Well, we had a contract with AES, and I could have cost that company a lot of money by saying that on the bike, right? They'd be like, hey, this guy works for you. He was on site yesterday. You're all fired. Like, we're just taking the whole contract from you. So I didn't want that to be the case, or my friends there. I like that company. And so I've been kind of bouncing around, and I've landed somewhere really good. And it's a small company out of Massachusetts. They're all Democrats. So they're like, go for it. We still work. We work for insurance companies. We work for private industry. We work for private residents. There can be conflicts, but it's not quite so glaring as some of those large contracts that my previous employers had.
Yeah, and I understand. I mean, you're an environmental scientist, so it kind of throwing back to what we were talking about before. Your job is to make sure people don't break things that are irreparable in a way, right?
Right. Yeah.
So that's serious business. Let's do a fun one. If you were a fictional character, who would you be, or perhaps who would you like to be?
Oh yeah, that's kind of a classic, but I don't have a good answer for that. I'd probably like to fly, so like a flying superhero of some sort. I think that would be really interesting.
So that rules out Batman, basically.
Right. Well, yeah, Batman.
Ironic, because bats can fly. Batman cannot.
Yeah. So I don't know, like, Superman is necessary. I don't need to be made of steel. I just want to fly. Although landing part, maybe it'd be good to make.
Yeah.
Made out of steel.
100%, right? Might as well go big, right? So, if you wind up winning the seat, you go to Indianapolis, like it's not just right down the street. But you wind up in the state house. You're going to have colleagues, Democratic colleagues, Republican colleagues. What kind of relationships are you looking to build there? What do you see as the value of interpersonal relationships with other legislators?
Yeah, that's a good question, and one way I haven't talked much about. I talked about at a meeting, an event last night a little bit, but I've always been a team guy, football player, baseball player, team sports that really it counts on doing your role and relying on others to do their role. So I've kind of just always been in that culture, and then I went on to coach football and then coach ultimate frisbee team, a semi-pro ultimate frisbee team here
Didn't
in
even know that was the thing.
Indianapolis. It is Indianapolis Alley Cats. I was going to say the AUDL. They are now the UFA, Ultimate Frisbee Association. So they actually have teamed up with Frisbee brand to use their trade name, or with Whammo to use the Frisbee name. Anyway, so coaching and team sports, and I've even when I got my geology degree, I was actually looking to do earth science education. So education, coaching, team sport, like it's just kind of all led to cooperative work. And it's kind of, and even one of the big things I do in environmental is respond to environmental emergencies like train wrecks and pipeline spills. And I like that because then we call whoever's available, we rush to the site as fast as we can, and we take the team, like, oh, these people have all shown up. We build our team, and each time we go to an event, the team's a little bit different. You got some of the same role players, and people switch roles. So again, just so many things I've done have been just this. You have to cooperate, you have to get along, and you have to work together. Even if you're competitors, professionally, we may work alongside our number one competitor company, but our clients are like, I don't care if you're competitors, you need to work for us. And if you can't get along, then we'll get rid of both of you, and we'll bring people in that can. So it's just been in everything I do. And then you hear a lot with being a politician, and oh, you're really opinionated on this, and you're bringing division. Calling out people for their injustices is not bringing division. Doing the injustice is bringing the division. Yes. And we're just calling it out. And so I grew up in Indiana where my neighbors were Republicans. My family's Republicans. I was a Republican, or I would have called myself a Republican in my younger years, just because of where I grew up and the people I grew up with, our friends, our colleagues at work. So it's not like because I'm a Democrat or a leftist or a progressive that like I forgot how to talk to people. I've lived my life in Indiana amongst a red state, or at least a propagandized red state that has been about cooperation and getting things done. And so I would just continue that work.
So what I hear is a team player, but not afraid to call out people's bull when they are not working for the greater good.
Yeah. And I'm happy, again, as a scientist, people's job, when you say go to a conference and present a paper, they don't come to listen to you talk to pat you on the back. They come to listen to you talk to either support their findings in their own research, or be like, you're wrong. When I look at this, I see this, this, and this. And so it's usually science is about proving people wrong, not necessarily people right, proving them right. So it's always about the debate and looking at different angles and different sides of things. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. We all bring in our backgrounds to a situation, and we have to be able to have those difficult conversations. And sometimes we'll come to a singular resolution together, and sometimes you won't. And then that majority party just like, well, I guess I need to work to get my buddy elected to get us into out of a super majority or a super minority situation, or get us into a majority so we can, pass that tiebreaker vote or whatever it is, that says, well, that was a great debate, but we're doing it my way.
So, Michael, assuming you get to the state house, or even just in general in your personal life. Like, you know, when you're old, when your time has passed, what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want people to say Michael Potter's life was all about?
Mm. Well, I do. I have had a number of comments when I tell people that I'm running, and I actually just posted it on my LinkedIn for the first time. So I never even mentioned on LinkedIn for this my previous run. I was like, I'm going to keep work and the political life completely separate. But either talking to people or putting it out there to a new group of people for me, and a lot of my LinkedIn network is, you know, just across the country. They say we need more people like you. And I often don't follow up with, well, what does that mean? What does like me mean? And I hope that means like reasonable, level-headed, you know, protecting of our neighbors, you know, the people of Indiana, and our resources or our nature. And so, yeah, I would hope they would say, you know, well, Michael, he was in it for the right reasons, that being protecting his family and neighbors, the people of House District 47 or Indiana, and the planet. You know, I'm not particularly religious, but I do think if you are, you know, this land was then given to us, right, as opposed to evolved, but given to us to inhabit and curate. And I would think there's just as many religious reasons as scientific reasons to take care of the planet that we seem to be not doing a good job at right now.
Yeah, very good. Well, Michael, people like what they hear. They want to get involved, volunteering, donating their various talents to your cause, or donating financial resources to your campaign. Where can they learn more information about you?
They can find me at Friends of Michael Potter on all social media. It's friendsofmichaelpotter.com. This is the website, and friendsofmichaelpotter@gmail.com for my email. And so if you can just remember Friends of Michael Potter, that will get you to me. Or if you find me on any social media just as Michael Potter, you're welcome to chime in there. But I'm always happy to have more team members to get out across House District 47 and knock on doors, talk to people, or just help me set up meetings with people. Small groups work really well. So anyone out there, like a little house party or a neighborhood party at your neighborhood clubhouse, I need you to set that up. I can't go to your neighborhood board and rent your clubhouse, but if you live there, you can help me set that up. And money is good too. I'd rather have your time and your talent, and we can collaborate together than your money. But I will take your money and put it to good use if you want to donate to me.
Very good. So that's everybody there in House District 47, from tail to bill. Michael,
From tail to bill.
All right. Thanks, Michael Potter. Very good to meet you.